Sorry. We are here at the center of campus at UofT's business building. Whether you like the program or not, you've probably heard of it. Today, we'll be asking Rotman students what they wish they knew before coming to college, and even more, what they think about Rotman culture.
If you see the rank of Rotman first place,
you're expected to do everything and anything.
Because I was really afraid of that snake culture.
There's always that negative stigmatism on Rotman Rats.
I don't necessarily agree with that.
Uni is not high school.
They push you to succeed and you push them to succeed.
You know, you look at your score and you're like, I just got average, and the average is 63. It just breaks my heart to see, you know.
A few weeks ago, I went to Bayhen and Mai Hall, two of the more comp-sci and engineering-focused buildings at UofT, and asked its students about their experiences.
Pretty much I'm paying these guys to do a 9 to 5. Yeah. I come home after this 5 and I'm doing more work, which is not very fun. My timetable is just a bit too colorful for me.
It was actually interesting beyond my expectations. Just hearing from the unique perspectives of each individual student, so much so that I knew I wanted to do it again. The next major on my list, one that makes up what seems to be a big portion at UofT, one that's seemingly both famous and infamous, both fun and controversial, is UofT's business program, Rotman Commerce. Look, I've personally been wanting to explore Rotman buildings for a while now, with its modern architecture and rumored hidden gems, so let's go do that together. And, of course, talk to some students. All right, let's go. Okay, cool. Just some general questions first. What's your name? What year are you in? Program and specialist.
Great. Hi, everyone.
Hi, my name is Miriam Ammer.
I'm Catherine.
I'm Cole. I'm Ethan.
I'm John.
Hi, my name is Yuna.
I'm Yali Usmaya. I'm from Peru.
I'm actually an international student, so I'm here from Melbourne, Australia.
I'm from Uruguay in South America, and I did my undergrad and my master's there.
I'm a first year student.
In year 2.
I'm in third year.
Rotman accounting specialist.
I'm fourth year as well, accounting as well.
I'm Zaman. I'm in my fourth year as well.
And my specialist is currently accounting.
Specializing in finance and econ.
I'm going to be an management specialist.
What's something that you've liked so far about Rotman and something that you don't like as much?
Something I like about Rotman,
if anything.
I think I really like the people here. I think that's the thing that makes it worth it.
Everybody that comes into Rotman is just so extroverted, and they have the social experience. They really want to get to interact with you.
I really like the vibe here. It's very preppy and we really mean business.
I feel like it's just the welcoming environment at Rotman.
There's always that negative stigmatism on Rotman Rats, but I don't think that at all. I think everybody's super welcoming.
Rotman's it's a beautiful place, beautiful space. Everyone's really friendly.
I just love the location, St. George. You're part of the good part of downtown. My personal opinion, more or less about Rotman specifically, it's just you have a lot of opportunities. Take advantage of them. The clubs, join them.
Being in Toronto allows you to be able to go to so many networking events using, for example, the RC portal.
The free stuff they give out, that's been good.
Education-wise, professors, I'd say you get the best quality of professors.
I really liked a few of my professors, how interactive they were with me. I felt a real connection with all the professors.
Some classes are really open-minded. You just basically talk about the industry. I think that's really good.
The competitiveness and the difficulty. It's a hard program. It's not easy, but it just kind of makes you want to compete and makes you feel like you're a part of people who have the same mindset as you and people who want to succeed, and they push you to succeed, and other way around, you push them to succeed.
Something I don't like, it's way too competitive with all the clubs and stuff. It's a bit too much.
A negative thing?
Yeah.
We're student representatives, so I don't know if maybe once I leave, then you can ask me.
How some of the eco courses were laid out.
Economics classes, those can be a pain.
Eco 101, 102.
Is it econ? Econ, that's pretty right.
Yeah. Oh my god, after I came in wanting to do finance and eco, then I did eco, and no, it's not it for me.
How spread out my courses are in the first year. I have to run all the way to the other side of campus and then sprint back to math. It's hectic.
The workload? I mean, probably everybody would say that.
I mean, I guess I'll talk from a diversity standpoint. I'm one of 10 black kids in my year, and I'm not saying, hey, go ahead and like make more opportunity for black kids, but like if you're using a couple students like the face of black kids everywhere, but you're still not getting any students, I think your marketing methods needs to change a bit more.
Sometimes environment, like community. It's hard to connect with some people because of like they always want to use you or something like that.
A lot of people tend to have a very transactional mindset. A lot of the time it's like, oh, if I give you this, you can give me this.
There's not as much of a team focus, and sometimes can be more just about the individual and getting your part.
I heard there's like a few things up on the 5th floor. It's like a library. There's a super beautiful rooftop. So we're gonna go there. Gonna walk all these stairs. But that's fine because we're healthy over here at YouTube/JMai.
Back in your basement, hometown, yeah, baby, I'm wasted.
We're gonna stop taking the stairs. You know, like elevators were made for a reason, okay? It would be a shame if we didn't use elevators because then it's kind of like their efforts went to vain, so. Next question. Ramen kind of has this rep of having an overall like snaky culture. At least like from outside of ramen, that's what we hear. As actual students at ramen, like what's your experience been like?
That was something I was extremely afraid of. When I was actually choosing between universities, I was considering actually forgoing ramen and going to Laurier because I was really afraid of that snake culture.
It is true, like a lot of people are kind of keep to themselves here. Like there's some truth to it, but also like if you make the right friends and you meet the right people, you can make a lot of connections and a lot of friendships.
To be completely honest, it just matters with who you're friends with. Like, it depends on you. Like, you make the most out of what you do. So if you want to stick to yourself, then you'll stick to yourself. But if you want to make friends, you'll make friends. Now, whether or not they're good friends, that's up to you. And
I don't necessarily agree with that because a lot of the people I've been with, they've been like really collaborative.
I definitely don't think I've experienced that side. Shout out to Rotman Commerce Student Association because I've met the best people here.
Awesome. And was that RCSA? RCSA. All right, shout out.
People are not actually like snaky per se. Like most people are good people, but I do notice that there's like a great emphasis not only from the students but like from the faculty itself to like, oh yeah, network, get ahead, internships, etc. Yeah. It's like a pressure on students that makes them think, what's the next step? I have to keep going, I have to get ahead.
Yeah, just like the hyper competitiveness, right? I'm guessing like you log onto LinkedIn, you see all this posts.
500 plus connections, they're writing on their LinkedIn, I did this, thank you to this recruiter. Yeah, it's complicated sometimes,
Yeah.
I do agree. People don't want to share stuff because it's competitive. Put into perspective, you have 1,000 per year almost in every business program. So obviously you want to be to yourself and like get the role that you want, but there's no need to really do that. Everyone gets hired eventually.
Do what you're in control of and try your best to be the nicest person you can and just be the kind of person you would want others to be.
Look at this. Oh my lord. See, I did not know that there was something like this.
Though we may not quite agree, it's never too late to change.
When you're choosing schools, I'm sure there were a few other schools that you're looking at. Why in particular did you settle on Rotman over other schools that, also have reputable business programs?
I chose UofT because of like its international reputation. This would probably be like the top choice if I were to like go in internationally again.
Back in Egypt, that's the main university that I heard of.
If you see the rankings most of the time is Rotman first place.
Toronto is a great city, the funding is good, you get housing options, it's a very good combo for busy students.
In Toronto there are more opportunities for in general things. In Vancouver was more tech focus. Here is more like finance and data analytics, and this is what I wanted to do.
Toronto is very big on healthcare. My background is in health, so that kind of drew me to come here. And it's pretty far from Australia, so get away.
Yeah, I was actually between here and UBC, but I just didn't want to live in Vancouver. It was so far away from the actual city. It would have kept raining.
I actually grew up in Vancouver, so the whole thing about rain, no, definitely. You dodged a bullet there.
But also downtown is more fun, a lot more opportunities. Like last week I went to the Museum of Illusions, which is not really something you can do in Waterloo, I feel like.
When I talk to people in like other unis, their justification was more like UBC greenery. I spoke to 8 or 9 different people, they said the same thing. Then I spoke to one person from UofT, and then he told me it's the best uni. Just come here. I said okay.
Didn't take a lot for you, huh?
No, that's all I needed to hear.
Though we may not quite agree, it's never too late to change.
I don't have have anything clever to say, so
Want you to stay, but see why you can't. I promise I'll wait.
business in general just has this rumor of just having a great social life. How's the social life been at Rotman?
I thought that was true. I was really excited because there's a stigmatism that, oh, business students, they color, that's their homework.
People going into business have good social skills, and it really shows with how easy you can make friends and work on other stuff in the Rotman ecosystem.
The social life here is very much up to you. There are a lot of different portals you can go to see events. There are a lot of different ways to meet other people. I mean, if you talk to every professor, it's always about networking. So there are ways to get out there. If you don't want to go out one night, you totally don't have to. It's really up to you.
Social life at Rotman.
I feel like a lot of people assume that Rotman's like a lot more easier than like other programs, so that we have a lot more time to socialize, which is a little bit true because we have less classes, but we are expected to have a lot more networking experience. That portion of our time that we have freed up from less classes, we should probably dedicate to networking, talking with people, getting experiences in. You have less classes, but within that extra time you have, you're expected to do everything and anything.
My next question, just like as older students, do you think Rotman sets you up well for postgraduate, whether that be like further studies or just straight to the workforce?
As a proud holder of a 2.4 GPA, I've had 4 job offers. So like you can get set up really easily in terms of the program. They have a lot of great career services and everything. But I think also at the same time, like if you don't reach out for those resources or if you're not in those clubs, it kind of feels like you're set up to fail and you're not going to get anywhere.
It does do a pretty good job, not in terms of like classwork, but I just think like the community they attract here, like the people here are all super driven. So I learned the most from like talking to my peers and like what they're pursuing, learning from like upper years alumni, like and what their career paths have been. Like that's really what has set me up to like understand what I need to do.
The profs too, like there are some bad ones, but like there are also the fair share of good ones that are like pretty well known like in the business world and stuff like that. You can make connections with them.
All right, we're gonna take a little quick detour away from the Rotman buildings. At my old residence, Woodsworth, it was actually really business like Rotman focused. So underneath Woodsworth, you have a lot of classrooms that are just meant for Rotman students. So we're gonna go there. I think it's usually more like undergrad students there. We'll check it out. Here's where it changes. Here's where it changes. Is there anything that now you wish you knew before coming to college, like as a high schooler, just would have helped you out?
I'm actually like bearing the brunt of it right now, but like study a bit earlier in advance of like midterms.
Honestly, I wish I knew how to, or like I had an idea of how to actually study. In high school, I would just grind out everything the night before, and then that doesn't really work in university at all. So study, guys.
If you're the type of kid that can get away with never studying or doing the homework in high school, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work here at all. It's not gonna work here. Do the readings.
Something at least that is very different from high school is how things are scheduled. It's not as tight, it's not as neat. You know, this day might be different than I'm going to do for the next week on the same day. You just kind of have to figure out your schedule as you go along and prioritize.
It's like time management is a big one there, right?
Understanding that uni is not high school and there are a lot more resources in high school, like you don't have an assigned counselor anymore. So really understanding how big university is and like the research you have to do to kind of pursue what you want. Like no one's going to tell you that anymore.
It's that everybody is just as scared and nervous as you are. Everybody to some extent is faking it. Like even if you get intimidated by the experiences that other people have coming in from high school, we're all starting on like the same playing field and everybody moves at their own pace and yeah, you fake it till you make it.
Words to live by.
You don't need to stress that hard.
Definitely take summer courses. A lot of the summer courses really help. They seem to take some content out of it and they make it a bit easier over the summer, so definitely take summer courses.
I wish I knew that I wasn't gonna be in my program instantly. But here is like, that's what makes it hard.
So I'm not in business, I'm actually in computer science. And it was like same thing. Same thing in high school, you think like, okay, like I'm doing pretty well, university should be doable. I came in, I got my first mark, I was like, oh shit, I almost failed that test. That's like a big culture shock.
The marks in UofT, it's not that I don't even understand the content. Trust me, I understand it.
Yeah.
But it's just so competitive. Like there's always going to be someone who's doing better than you. You know, you look at your score and you're like, I just got average, and the average is 63 or like something like that. It just breaks my heart to see, you know.
So was there like a residence connected to like classrooms in the basement? I'm just gonna say this now. If there are any like high schoolers watching and you're thinking of going to UofT, Woodsworth College, that's the one you should pick. Okay, maybe I'm biased, but It has the most modern buildings, like you get your own washrooms, no communal washrooms. You get to live in a suite, your own room. I would actually recommend it.
Just give me a sound.
Don't run me over. We are leaving the Rotman buildings, we're leaving Woodsworth. I thought it'd be nice to just talk a little by the varsity field. Ooh. So just kind of recapping, something that I did really want to know going in was just what Rotman students thought about that snakey culture, that like rumor. I think it was like kind of expected. It really just depends like what friends you're hanging out with. But something that was really interesting is how a lot of the students pinpointed the hyper competitiveness that makes up Rotman. It's one of the things that makes Rotman such a great program because everyone's keeping each other accountable, but it also makes it really stressful. Something that one of the girls said, fake it till you make it, like that's something that everyone seems to be doing, not even in Rotman, but just across every program. I totally get that. Econ is really bad. That's what we learned today. And just the constant networking, like that fills up any free time that you have. It was also really interesting contrasting like the undergrad students to the MBAs and the PhDs, because you had the undergrads who were also stressed, and then it seems like when I got to the MBAs and interviewed them, they were also carefree and like, oh, I love everyone in my program. So my theory is, okay, undergrad at Rotman, cutthroat, you don't know where you're gonna end up, but once you kind of make it to MBA at Rotman, it's a lot more chill. On that note, it was a really fun day. This is the second major that we did, just asking students about their time at UofT. And honestly, like I do want to continue it. I don't know what major I'm gonna do next, but you know, there's life science, there's architecture, all of these different faculties that make up a huge part of UofT. So, yeah. Why do I always end these videos so awkwardly? Yeah, chat.
You said always if I stay in your head every day, always on my brain, think of you, everything, always.
Want to plug this message or?
Corey's gonna look at this like, alright, failed.